Hey, I'm Uncle Snaff. Let's get to it. We're going to get all secret squirrel tonight because we're going to go covert style. I mean, just Covert Instruments is really what we're talking about. Got a whole bunch of new toys. So I actually bought my earliest lock-picking tools was actually Covert Instruments. That was actually some of my first stuff. Sandman, I saw him on or on YouTube some time ago, a couple of years ago, and eventually I was like, I got to try this lock sport stuff out. And so I had bought some really cheap Amazon crap tools that weren't worth anything, and they didn't do anything. I didn't like it, and instantly I wanted to upgrade. I wanted to get something new. So I went and got some Covert Instruments picks and started off with that. So turning tools picks and that kind of stuff. I now have a whole ton of turning tools from Covert Instruments. I've got a ton of picks. I've bought a whole ton of stuff from them over the past. But it's interesting thing is actually my EDC kit is actually in my truck, and it's all Covert. So I have actually purchased the Echelon kit before. I've got the Genesis kit before. As a matter of fact, the Genesis kit was my very first lockpick set that was serious per se, versus that Amazon crap that you can get. And so that's what I started out with. I started out with that, and you can thank Sandman for it. Sandman was actually the reason why I got into this stuff. Well, between him, McNally, and Lockpick Lawyer, but yeah, I've been watching this stuff for a long time, and I really dig it. I mean, I really do. So I have it all in my truck. That is actually my EDC stuff. So I wanted to get some more stuff, but stuff that I could use here at my desk with my regular collection. I'm getting all my stands and stuff, getting that from 3D Lock Sport while I get a chance, so I can get my workspace finished up. But my goal was to get all this done, so we're going to do a little bit of a quote-unquote unboxing per se, but I just love Covert stuff. I mean, they just make great tools. But we'll give a little bit, let's call it a review, all right? We'll call it a review. I'll go for that. I'm not a big review guy per se, but we'll talk about it for a little bit. First things first, they're turning tools. They make everything with 301 high yield steel, and I absolutely love what they make. I'm assuming that their turning tools are also 301 high yield. That is my assumption. It acts like 301 high yield steel, so I'm assuming that is the case. But either way, I really like their turning tools. They're just the right size. They're just the right everything. Now, I like to modify things, so that's exactly what I've done in the past. I've taken their turning tools and I've actually lopped them off and did a little chopping up. So I bought some more so I can do some more. I'm going to make some bends on my own and actually modify these, so I'll have basically a long version for deeper picks, but I want to make my own ergo set. And instead of having the bend, like the bend on most of the ergos, the bend is actually relatively far back. When you apply tension on it, what happens is that it wants to turn out, and so it doesn't always like to stay in. What I'm going to try is I'm going to try putting the bend closer into this here instead of so far away, and kind of create my own ergo tool. So I picked up a couple extra turning tools, and I will probably buy some more just so I can modify them and play with them and that kind of thing. They're not expensive. Their turning tools are relatively cheap. I forget what they are price wise. $16 a piece. So these are only $16 a piece on it. That's relatively cheap enough. And I can modify them and that kind of thing. The other thing I really like about their turning tools, and I think is probably one of the big selling points for me is that, oops, if I can get my fingers to work right, all of their turning tools are actually labeled. Let me see if I can get this so you can see it. But all of their turning tools are labeled with the actual size. Yeah, I can't seem to get that in focus right now, but yeah, it's actually got the size of the turning tool actually on it, and that's nice because I can just take a look at it, see what I got, that kind of thing. So really like having the extra turn tools. It's worth the bucks. All that being said, though, let's take a look at the Genesis set starting out the gate. All right, right off the bat, we are talking everything is in 25 thousandths. All right, and I like that because it's a good, thick, heavy-duty set. All right, the Echelon set is in 20 thousandths, if I remember correctly, and so these are a little bit thicker. You'll get the same kind of thing, but in the Echelon, you'll get it in 20 thousandths, so it's a little bit thinner on that. And then again, you also get a top of the keyway and a bottom of the keyway turning tool set in here. This is basically that 90-degree bend style. This is actually really nice because it's pretty rigid, works great. I really like these as well. These are great turning tools in addition to that. My only problem that I have with Covert Instruments tools per se, and it has to do with me. This is not them. This is me in this aspect. These big old meat paw, claw, whatever you want to call these things, these hands are big. They really don't like these little itty bitty tools. It is really difficult. It can be a struggle, and I've got arthritis, and it's difficult for me to manipulate some of these smaller tools. So I do have a habit of actually taking the turning tools and putting a the heat shrink around it, which does help me out comfort wise. Makes it a little bit easier to be able to manipulate the tools. I'm also a southpaw, so I do have that disadvantage going on as well. But one of the things I really like about these tools is that steel, man. That 301 high yield steel, it's worth every single penny, and their tools are not crazy expensive. Their tools are very affordable. I mean, if you took a look at the price comparison between Moki and Covert Instruments, Moki is very expensive. Now, if you took a look between the two different types of steel, there isn't a whole lot of difference. Yes, Moki is a little bit finer finished. It is tumbled a little bit differently. It's got a much better finish overall, but equally as smooth, nothing sharp, no sharp edges. I mean, I got no bitches or complaints with you guys with Covert's tools. I really like them. They are the equivalent of being a top tier or a class A or whatever you want to call them. They are really that equivalent. I know I've seen some people where they bitch about, the spots, because this is what they call a sandwiched handle, all right? So you're taking basically the pick, which is a single piece of spring steel, and then you sandwich it between two others, and then basically you just use a tack weld and tack weld them together. And I've seen people complain about that. Oh, well, it's tack welded, it doesn't look as good. There's nothing wrong with these. The quality on these things are absolutely badass. That's great quality. And the other thing that's great on it, it even shows you the thickness of the tool right here on the tool. It's labeled as such, so you can see it. I mean, you just can't go wrong. So basically here with the Genesis pick set, you're going to get three. You're going to get the, oh good Lord, I can't remember. I think this is the Quinta rake or whatever. This basically, you get a 5-point rake, a 4-point rake, which is, this is like the worm rake here. This is that closer to a Bogota type profile. I forget the name of it right off the top of my head. But then you get a medium hook and also a little bit deeper hook. So, great set. It really is a great set, and I got zero complaints. I love it. This is in my EDC. This is actually what I keep in my truck at all times, and I love it. So this is now going to go in my tools here, and I'll be actually able to have a set. I got to quit dropping things, but I'll be able to have a set right here in in the house versus always out in my truck. And of course, their case, I love their cases. Their cases really are cool. I've got a few of these cases, and I like them. They also, when you get the Echelon, you're also going to get this RFID thing. I don't know anything about these. I don't do any of this RFID stuff, so this is foreign to me in the aspect of beats the hell out of me what I'm going to do with anything like that. So that's kind of out of it for me. That's a useless piece. But that being said, if we dig into this right here, all right, now we're looking at some tools. Yes. So let's see if we can break these things open with my old fingers here. Well, guess what? My fingers ain't going to do the job. So we're going to break some little micro scissors because I left my knife up on the other table. So guess we'll just use that. But again, we talk about quality, and there is nothing wrong with these at all. So 20 thousandths, it's actually labeled on the unit. You've got, a rake for dimple pins. You got multiple rakes here. Same exact thing like you get with the Genesis set, but with the Echelon, you get some more. You get a shallower hook, or medium hook, deep hook. You also get the dual peak. You get the I can't remember the name of this. And then you also have the tool for doing single pick with the circular locks. Oh, good Lord, my brain is absolutely dead at this time. But that's the really cool part. You get all this good stuff here, and on top of it, you get the case, and I really dig the case. The case is actually very cool. This whole bifold case actually is nice. I've got a few of them. I've bought quite a few of them over the time, and I use them for other tools and that kind of stuff, so I really like the case. And of course, the magnetic part of the case is actually quite cool as well, because you can stick it to things and stick your case up against metal doors and that. So that's actually really cool. And if you want to have fun, put some patches on it, you can also do that as well. You even have the tool for those tubular locks. And then you also end up getting a ergo set, all right? And this is actually where I ended up cutting up the ends of the others, is because of these little guys right here. First time I saw these, I was like, oh, dude, I've got to do that. Now, these are not as critical to me solely on the basis of I'm left-handed, so unfortunately, these particular little guys are kind of lost on me. That's just me. That's, it has nothing to do with Covert. I'm left-handed. It is what it is. There's nothing I can do about it. I do wish they'd make a left-handed version of these that they would sell with the kits instead of just having the right-handed. But, I can make my own, so that's not that big of a deal. And, of course, again, you also get a standard set, just like I bought with these. This is basically the exact same turning tool set. It's just packaged a little bit different because it comes with the kit. So, that's a pretty damn good, decent deal. $70, 301 high yield steel, and you get all that stuff with the kit. The RFID card, you get the turning tools, and then if you get the nice part is you can put all of this and the Genesis lockpick set all into the same case, and that's really, really cool. So basically you can have yourself a really nice everyday carry. And or if you want this to be your main pick set, there you go. You got enough tools right there. You can pick just about anything you want. That's more than enough tools to get in there and start picking away at all kinds of stuff. So, you can get into whatever you want to get into. There's a lot of stuff right there. And all that right there, that'll run you, just about $100 is all. So, that's really not too bad. When we talk about price ranges, tools are expensive as anything. You can spend a ton of money on tools. So you can go as crazy as you want. Honestly speaking, I know what it's like to spend too much money on tools. I spend too much money on tools myself. And but that being said, very, very cool stuff. So there you go, Covert Instruments. Also comes in some great pouches and all that kind of stuff. They got, I just love their stuff. I love their stuff. I've got a ton of Covert Instruments tools, and you can't get enough out of them. I mean, boom, just lots and lots of cool stuff. So all that being said, get a chance, go check them out. I'll have a link on the bottom of my site for them. Again, anybody who's doing lockpicking, they know these guys. These guys are some of the best out there. Lockpick Lawyer, McNally, all that, they're all part of the Covert team. And we also have 3D Lock Sports actually going to be joining them as well, and which is really, really cool. Can't wait to see what they come up with that. So this is a company that's really going places. And like I said, I've been buying from them for a long, long time. And again, if you want a tool, if you know, especially if you do have, say, smaller hands or that kind of thing, and you like the smaller profile picks, hey, that's good for you. If it's tough for you because you do have big hands or not as much mobility, don't get too down on it. Give these guys a try, because you'd actually be surprised what you can accomplish with the tool, even with these tools being small. I mean, I do law lock a lot of times. That's actually my favorite. They work best for me because they fit perfectly in my hands. But that being said, I use my Covert a lot. I play with these things a lot. So again, it's all part of the collecting aspect of it, and I just want to get as much as I can. I love it. So all right, kids, I am getting out of here. It's getting sleepy time, and it's time to get me some rest so I can go to work and be all sunshine and happy. All right, you guys have a great night. Enjoy, rock on, and have some fun picking. See ya.